Welcome, everybody, to Steve's Wrestling Ramble. I will see if any of my team members are able to make it here. Starting early, I want to get it done as soon as possible. Other things going on. We'll have to see what I'm going to do with the show. But beyond that, welcome to the review for 2017 edition of Money in the Bank. Money in the Bank goes on Sunday in St. Louis, Missouri. It's a pretty good show. Controversial thing happening being with ending of the first ever women's Money in the Bank ladder match. Kamala getting the win, but Ellsworth winning, actually climbing up, grabbing the ladder, handing or dropping it to her, not even handing it to her. Up the ladder there. So that's really was interesting in its own right. On Raw, we found out who was attacking Enzo. It was Big Cass. And that reveal, leading up here on the road to the pay-per-view. I guess the reason they did this early was because they're going to have, or rumor has it, going to have a match with Enzo versus Cass at Great Balls of Fire himself, and then move forward from there. So, hey, that works. Works for you. I don't have an issue there, obviously. Certainly would be interesting to see how things move on from there. I'm also hearing then Big Cass to face Big Show at SummerSlam, and going from there for Big Cass, now heel run and push. Hope he does get some gold, wins a title, win something. Now, no longer can be the 18 titles. And since he's on Monday Night Raw, it'll be the Intercontinental Championship. And technically the Universal title, but more so the Intercontinental Championship that he can go after and get pushed to get to, who knows. Unless they want to do mega push, like technically they did for Jinder Mahal out of nowhere. Push him to the moon and have him challenge and win the Universal title at some point. So, I don't know. I don't know about that. I don't know if that's exactly what we want. We'll certainly see. The reason I'm kind of talking slow, the reason why I'm not on camera is because I'm also watching coverage on ESPN. We're welcome to check that out on ESPN, the 2017 NBA Draft. It's going on as well. But since we are talking WWE for as long or short amount of time here in this podcast episode, and I see Kyron has joined us. I guess we'll just talk about the topic du jour of the week, and that is the women's Money in the Bank ladder match and that whole situation. And I'll let you have the floor first, and then I'll comment.
Thanks. I thought the actual match itself was good. I thought it was a good match. There was no, they didn't dwindle down anything. They took ladder spots. I was happy about that. But we all know everyone's problem was the ending. And I saw the pros and cons to both of it. For the pros, it was a heel doing it. People were legitimately pissed off, and it gave us all the reason to tune in to SmackDown on Tuesday, which we all did. But on the other hand, with this being the first ever women's Money in the Bank ladder match, having a man grab the briefcase was the wrong way to go about it, because no matter what, like when they look back at that moment, replaying, it's going to show a man climbing the ladder and grabbing the briefcase down, which I'm not saying it angered me, but it was a stupid way to end an otherwise very good match.
Yeah, I agree. What are your thoughts on them redoing it and having it next week?
I really don't really know at this point, because I'm hoping it's going to be another good match. That's all we can hope for. But at the same time, I'm thinking, if they were just going to do it again, what's the point of having the first match? And I got a feeling Carmelo probably end up winning this one too, just without Ellsworth help, and hopefully that's what's going to happen. But I still think it's stupid. How we got to this point, and I'm all for another Money in the Bank ladder match. I really am. but I really wish we had done this another way instead of just doing another Money in the Bank, doing having Ellsworth win a match for her, and then just Daniel Strickland Carmella the briefcase, and now having the rematch next week.
I see XBW has arrived. I also did see, Palmer, that you tried to arrive in with your regular account. I don't know what went awry in that situation, but welcome to the show. It's been a while that it's been a while since we had you. Things have changed. Raunchy Mikey officially retired from talking wrestling here on YouTube and other things going on. How have you been, and what are your thoughts on the women's Money in the Bank ladder match situation?
Well, I've been good. But the Money in the Bank match was very interesting. Carmella, like, she haven't been getting the push like she have. So like WWE had to do this. So I don't know if they changed their mind about it, about like giving the Money in the Bank back, but you know, it's interesting.
And I guess to ask Kyron this, I'll ask you this as well. What are your thoughts on them redoing it, pretty much redoing it and having it again next week on SmackDown Live? Homer?
Can you say that question again?
What are your thoughts on them redoing it and having the women's Money in the Bank ladder match again next week on SmackDown Live?
Well, it should be interesting. You know, uh, anybody can win this match. Like, I don't know if like James Ellsworth going to like interfere in this match, but hopefully this might get more viewers for SmackDown Live.
Yeah, true. I think maybe that's the number one thing. And my thoughts on it, I didn't really have too much of a problem with how the finish was at Money in the Bank pay-per-view event itself. I'm gonna be honest though, I didn't like the fact that as we have this the first ever thing, and then we have the finish with Ellsworth, a male superstar, I guess you can say technically, WWE superstar, retrieving the briefcase. And yes, in the end, Carmella declared the winner as the first woman to have hold of the briefcase. But still, I didn't really like how they decided to have the finish. They just need to tweak it a little bit. You still have the same things going on. You still book it that way with Becky Lynch climbing up the ladder, James Ellsworth coming into the ring, pushing the ladder over, coming to Carmella. A difference in my booking would have been of James Ellsworth literally carrying Carmella up the freaking ladder, and Carmella to take down, to take the briefcase and win in that way. Where you still have James Ellsworth interfering. In the end, you have Ellsworth pretty much winning it for Carmella, but not getting it himself. Hint there. And still have that heel tactic thing of winning, which I've been hearing since Sunday about, oh, don't worry about it. In the end, it was a heel tactic. It was good. I kind of disagree. Again, if you tweak it and you do it my way, or even others' ways that others have talked about it on YouTube and otherwise in their own thoughts, that it would have been perceived much better than it has by the majority of the WWE universe, in my opinion. And now to redo it and to have it again, to have it on SmackDown Live next week. No,
Yeah,
I just this is dumb. I think it's might have been the stupidest decision they ever made in their lives. I don't know. It just didn't seem like it's the right way to go here. If anything, maybe you had it one-on-one. Carmella had to defend her briefcase against, Becky Lynch, because Becky Lynch was the one that was retrieving it before Ellsworth got involved and did what he did. So that's where I thought it could have gone. Maybe if they wanted to have all the women part of it, instead of having another Money in the Bank ladder match, you have it's just a Fatal 5-Way or Mini Battle Royal or something else. Gimmick it something else. You still get people watching, and the briefcase will still be on the line, but you don't do another Money in the Bank ladder match 2 weeks after you were supposed to do it right. as in looking at the finish, at the actual pay-per-view with its namesake. So that's where my ire and issue is with the whole situation. Whether here nor there, it's just the way I feel about that. What are you guys' thoughts are there in response, Kyron?
Steve, I actually agree with what you said in the beginning. I would have ended the match Sunday the exact same way you said. I had no problem with Ellsworth, helping Carmella in a way because, I'm fine with heels cheating to win. I had a problem with him grabbing the case. But if he, pushed Becky over off the ladder and helped Carmella climb it and she grabbed the case still by herself, that would have been perfectly acceptable and I'd have been fine with that. And Carmella would have even more justified it than try to take the briefcase from her if he had done it again. But on the other hand, I disagree with you saying not to do a Money in the Bank match again. On one hand, I see what you're saying. We did it wrong the first time. Let's make up for it on SmackDown. But at the same time, I think doing a Money in the Bank ladder match again would probably be the most interesting way and best type of match to have between these five. A Fatal 5 way, wouldn't be as interesting as Money in the Bank. A Battle Royal certainly wouldn't be that good. I'll be fine with Becky versus Carmella. I think a Money in the Bank ladder match probably even better than with the other three women in the match itself. So I'm perfectly fine with them doing another Money in the Bank, but I agree on the fact that I think they're kind of saying, well, we got it wrong, let's do it right now. I'm fine with the first match. You make some mistakes. We can work the kinks out, and next year we'll do a better Money in the Bank ladder match. But doing it 2 weeks later, or a week later for that match, I think that's not a smart idea.
Yeah, that's exactly, and my point exactly with you there about that. Yeah, it's not the best idea, the way to go to have another women's Money in the Bank ladder match. I'm not down with it. I know it's also because of ratings and stuff like that. As much as me and others say of SmackDown Live being better, the analytics, I guess, don't agree with our prosecution of that in that way. So that's what WWE goes by. So in that way, Raw still is better than Raw. I mean, Raw is still better than SmackDown in that respect. But having another women's Money in the Bank ladder match, I don't think that's going to be. I mean, it's going to be fine. People are going to watch. Viewership probably will go up tenfold and this and that, and WWE will be justified in the end, I guess. But to me, it would have been better to either have one-on-one or a Fatal 5-way if you're going to have all the women part of it. Maybe even have a six-pack challenge. Remember, there was supposed to be the sixth person, or the rumor that there was going to be a sixth person in the Money in the Bank ladder match with the women on last Sunday at the pay-per-view event on Father's Day. So if you're going to have all the ladies again, then have it a sixth person, and then in the graphic, have it, with a question mark, who's going to be the sixth woman, build that up for a week, and have it a six-pack challenge match instead of another Money in the Bank ladder match, and find out who the sixth person is, whether it's Lana thrown into the mix or returning Nikki Bella or someone else, whatever. That's what you have set. Also, programming interruption here. Lonzo Ball has been drafted by the Los Angeles Lakers. So I guess he got what he wanted, or at least his father did. But just bringing that up here while we're live on air. Lonzo Ball, trying to make that millions of dollars, now part of the Los Angeles Lakers. But back to WWE. Overall, I thought Money in the Bank was good. The only issue I had with, or other issue that I had with finishes of matches, is the tag team title match. With how that ended. But I want to get your guys' thoughts on the pay-per-view overall. Since the first time we're talking since the last week, I'll start with Kyron. Kyron, what were your thoughts overall on the Money in the Bank pay-per-view event? And which match do you say was match of the night?
Well, I'm going to start this off with saying the same thing I said in the description of my review of the show. I don't think I'm going to make a lot of friends with what I'm about to say, because I was one of the few people that actually liked the show. I actually gave it a passing grade. While there were problems, especially the ending of the women's Money in the Bank, having the impromptu tag team match, which I didn't watch, having Lana's first one-on-one match be a pay-per-view championship match against someone who's not the best ring general, it had problems. But despite that, and even though I was at Extreme Rules, there was nothing on this show that pissed me off as much as the women's the candlestick and the pole match at Extreme Rules. So that's already a plus. But my favorite match, I thought Jen and Randy did a better job this time they did a Backlash, even though the match was kind of carbon copy. But the best match for me was obviously the men's Money in the Bank ladder match. Everything about it, from just Kevin Owens getting the hell beat out of him, AJ just showing why he's the best wrestler in the world, hanging on a cable. But of course, Nakamura and AJ just having that brief standoff that literally made me hyperventilate when it first happened. That was the men's Money in the Bank ladder match was without a doubt my favorite match of the night. I thought the show overall was good. It wasn't a great show, but it wasn't as bad as people are making out to be.
I agree 100%. And excuse me. And anyways, XPW. What are your thoughts on the pay-per-view, Palmer, overall, and what would be your match of the night?
Well, this pay-per-view was very decent. Like, it was a great pay-per-view, but it was alright. But like the main match of the night was the Money in the Bank match, the main one. You know, I'm glad that Baron Corbin won it, because like this is an opportunity, like, you know, get his push. Like, hopefully he can cash it in on Jinder Mahal sometime. And you know, and the Jinder Mahal and Randy Orton match was it wasn't going in Backlash, but it was okay, you know. But yeah.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be so quick to say that Baron Corbin should be cashing in at Jinder Mahal. Yeah, that would make the most sense because of probably the difference between Jinder Mahal and Randall Keith Orton. But I actually would say that maybe Randy Orton wins the title back, whether sooner rather than later, who knows? And then Baron Corbin cashing in on him, or maybe not even John Cena, somebody else that wins the title, maybe a returning John Cena wins the title, wins his Spring 17th, I think. I think he's tied right now with Flair. And he gets that 17th title. And then Baron Corbin, being the ultra heel and awesome heel that he's been, comes out there, ruin the party, and lay out John and win the title that way and cash in successfully. Either way, I see Carmella getting her briefcase back. Corbin himself also, I see them both cashing in successfully and becoming new champions. New women's champion for Carmella and new WWE World Champion or WWE Champion for the Lone Wolf, Baron Corbin. So that's certainly in the cards, at least in my eyes, in recognition, moving forward. And speaking of moving forward, let's move forward to Monday Night Raw. The biggest thing on Raw being the end, finding out who attacked Enzo. I was kind of surprised at the beginning of the show when it was brought up that they were going to reveal this, that it was going to happen. I was wondering if some tomfoolery fuckery was going to happen and nothing was going to be revealed and it was just to be prolonged again by interruption or whatever. However, it would have been having a murky end and nothing actually being resolved. But it actually was. They went with it, and it was revealed Big Cass was the one that attacked Enzo Amore, and his heel promo there, his heel turn promo was pretty dang awesome, at least to me. Spot on. And I'm certainly looking forward to seeing where WWE goes from here with Big Cass. Again, like I was talking about earlier before the guys arrived, it's being rumored that you're going to have Enzo and Big Cass at a Great Balls Fighter, and then Big Cass against the Big Show at SummerSlam, and then go from there. And then maybe some point our Big Cass actually getting some gold, maybe winning the Intercontinental Championship. I don't see the Universal title. He's not like Jinder Mahal to get the skyrocket treatment of a push to win the main title on the brand. But who knows? I wouldn't mind that if that was the case. But as of right now, probably just would be maybe the IC Championship in his future. But again, I want to get you guys' thoughts on Raw and of the closing segment, the main event segment there. Let's start with Kyron. What do you think of Monday Night Raw? And what do you think of Big Cass and his heel turn promo?
Raw was decent. I don't remember a lot from the show. I'm being completely honest. I really don't. But things I do remember, Joe and Reigns had a pretty good match. And it was great seeing my guy, Braun return. I legit marked out when Braun Strowman came back because, like I said, he was the best thing WWE at the time. But the ending segment with Enzo and Cass, I knew Cass was the one that attacked Enzo, and they did kind of make me think maybe it's someone else when Cass apparently got attacked, but we now know what really happened. And they got the right, and the fact that Cass was justified and everything, and with everything he said in that promo, which was that one promo was better than anything Enzo's ever cut, any promo Enzo's ever cut. But even though Cass was justified in everything he said, yes, he has been carrying Enzo. He is the one that fights his battles when Enzo gets into stuff. The person in the tag team in terms of the in-ring work. But just seeing like how much this hurt Enzo, and like I know it would hurt me if my best friend said something like that to me, and just seeing that one tick on us, I actually felt sorry for him. So I think this heel turn worked in making Big Cass a really good villain and getting sympathy on Enzo, despite Cass technically being justified.
Indeed, Palmer.
Well, I didn't really watch Raw, but I knew it was whack. But anyway, the ending was like one of the greatest endings to Raw. Like I wouldn't say greatest, but a greatest ending to Raw from a long time. But anyway, Enzo Amore, I didn't like WWE made the right decision to like break Enzo and Cass up because Big Cass is an underrated wrestler. I think it's time for him to get his push. And seeing Braun Strowman return, it looked like this feud not over with, the Roman Reigns feud. So Raw,
That's for sure.
I give it like probably a 4.
Okay, well, if I had to rate it, I'd give it probably a 6 out of 10. Braun Strowman and probably will have or at least what will happen, we'll have Braun Strowman versus Roman Reigns at Great Balls of Fire in an ambulance match. And it was, yes?
But it was something about the Enzo and Cass thing I forgot to talk about. And I like, despite everything, it was being a great heel turn. Breaking them up might not have been the smartest thing in the world because now with them breaking up and Golden Truth breaking up, the tag team division already wasn't all that good. It wasn't already as stacked as it could have been. But we have only one babyface tag team in the tag team division. That's the Hardys because James Cesaro heel and Cash broke up, Golden Truth broke up, New Day went to SmackDown, Columbus went to SmackDown, and the Club are heel. So we only have one babyface tag team in the tag team division. And you can go back to what I always say, both tag team divisions are not as strong as they should and could be.
Yeah, that's true for sure. And then moving on to SmackDown Live, Carmella being stripped of the briefcase. Them now going to have the match again next week. So we're going to brief through here. You guys' thoughts on SmackDown Live and other things you want to bring up as well from the show. Tuesday night, the first SmackDown Live since their pay-per-view from the SmackDown Live brand, Money in the Bank. Kyron?
Well, I actually thought SmackDown was a pretty good show for the most part. I love the Ziggler versus Nakamura match. I thought it was really good. Chad Gable, Shawn Lee Anderson, and Kevin Owens Open Challenge. That was a pretty good match. I mean, I wish it went a little longer. Carmella cut easily the best promo of her career to open the show. And I tweeted about what if Cass comes to SmackDown and teams up with Carmella since they are with each other in real life. And with them both turning heel and ironically cutting the best promo of each of their career the night at the other. I think that'd be great. You take Ellsworth out of the picture, and Cass and Carmella could be a really good heel couple. Once again, the New Day and the Uso stuff was okay. Mahal versus Luke Harper was all right. Orton coming out and just destroying everything was pretty good. But I will call Randy on the fact that he was in his interview, which I thought was a little flat. He told Mahal, you don't mess with another man's family. I said, says the guy who punted John Cena's father in the head and attacked the McMahons on multiple occasions. Randy, you're not one to talk about, don't talk, go at another one's family. I mean, that's what you made your legacy on. You can't say that. Also, I don't know if any of you guys have you heard the rumor plan for the next Orton?
The fact that might have the return of the Punjabi prison match.
Yes. Since I really don't know what to think about it. In fact, I didn't watch neither Punjabi prison match, and I don't really want to. I don't know what to think about that. On one hand, it could be cool because you can keep the Singh brothers out, but bringing back the Punjabi prison match, I don't know if that's the best thing. I thought SmackDown was a pretty good show as well. Both shows were pretty good this week.
And since I still have you here, or you were last speaking, Kyron, which show do you think did better, Raw or SmackDown for this week?
I probably would say SmackDown just a little bit because I don't think neither show was bad. But the problem with Raw is once again, it's that third hour. Raw's third hour, besides the ending segment with Cash Trying to Hill, was not really interesting to sit through. And like the first 2 hours, I thought were pretty good. It had some good stuff in the first 2 hours, but that third hour counts. And I understand, SmackDown's 2 hours, but I can't just compare the 2 hours of SmackDown to 2 hours of Raw. It doesn't work that way. I compare the whole show to the whole show. And if I do that, while there were times in SmackDown some stuff didn't make sense. I thought that, with matches like Nakamura and Ziggler, and for the most part, the stuff with and by the way, speaking of that, what Carmella's one promo alone was better than that cluster of the women's segment on Raw anyway. So I think that SmackDown was better than Raw just by a little bit. If it wasn't for that third hour, the terrible third hour Raw, minus the ending, and the women's segment, which was bad, I would have probably said Raw, but that third hour counts. So I got to get the SmackDown.
Okay. Palmer?
Well, what was the main event match for SmackDown? Like, they could have done a little better, but when Baron Corbin came out, I just marked out because I thought he was really going to cash it in, but Randy Orton, he did his thing, but the Carmella situation, she had a good promo, like that's one of the best promos in her career, but the New Day versus the Usos match could have did a little better, but I really like this Nakamura and Dolph Ziggler feud. This feud should be a good feud, but I'm really excited that they brought back the prison match, cause we haven't seen this match since 10 years ago, so this should be a good match, but I think Big Cass is gonna help Carmella next week. I really think so. And SmackDown, they could have did a little better, but I give them a 7.
Well, yeah, I think for me, I go with SmackDown having a better episode. I mean, them coming off the heels of Money in the Bank and the craziness with the women's ladder match. Whether I disagree, others agree, whatever, and the finish of it still bringing in viewership and going from there. So certainly a pretty good show of SmackDown, and Raw having its moments of glory, so to speak. Still 3 hours against 2 hours. It's going to be hard, at least in my eyes, and judging both shows. We're trying to equally. SmackDown Live will always have the edge out of the gate with 2 hours against 3 hours, depending on if WWE's Raw creative team can actually book and create a show for 3 hours in a row total to have a good Raw overall at all. But anyways, it's pretty much it for talking about each episode and shows. I guess stuff in the news. Ronaldo has yet to return to WWE, part of NXT commentary. I know Triple H and others were already tweeting about that. Excuse me. Other tidbits in the news. Mike Canales, formerly Mike Bennett, Mike Canales now on WWE, will be on the ENC Edge and Christian podcast coming up as their next interview to do there. Not to mention other actual news. Vince Russo, Jim Cornette saga continues. I guess Russo is filing a restraining order against Cornette for stalking him. So I guess whatever there. I guess Vince is. I don't know. I could say something, but whatever. It is what it is. But those are the three main news things that I could grab from online and other sources as well. Also, there was something else I did want to play, but while I try to find that video to play some clips, I'll let Kyron and then Palmer give me your thoughts on those three topics that I did bring up. Mauro Ranallo coming back to NXT as a commentator. The issue between Vince Russo and Cornette, and one as well.
Well, first off, I'm happy Mauro's back because I hated the way he left the company, apparently, with being bullied out of the company, which pissed me off as a person and as someone who's been bullied myself, and because he's the best commentator in WWE. Now, I don't really watch NXT weekly most of the time. I watch the TakeOver specials I watch every TakeOver special, but that's about it. I might tune in NXT every once in a while. The stuff with Mike Bennett and Maria Kanellis, I really don't care about right at the moment, so I don't really have any comment on that. But the stuff with Cornette and Russo, I literally just, as you were talking, Steve, was on Twitter and saw the restraining order. It's actually signed. I'm a big fan of Jim Cornette. I'm a member of the Cult of Cornette. I listen to his podcast. He's the funniest funniest person I've ever listened to. And I don't like Vince Russo for a lot of reasons, mainly his writing. So obviously, it doesn't surprise me that Russo would send a writer restraining order because Cornette's apparently stalking him, even though he hasn't been. He just threatens him on his podcast and then insults him every chance he gets. But that's not. I wouldn't call that stalking him. Honestly, but there's not much I can really say about it. I mean, Jim was never, unless Vince agreed to, was never going to walk to Vince and punch him in the face because he said that he wouldn't risk going to jail for it. But his hatred for Russo, he wouldn't risk going to jail. But now we know for a fact Jim wouldn't do it because he doesn't want to go to jail. So that's all I have to really say on that topic.
Palmer?
I'm very excited for Moralo to come back, but I think they should switch him and JBL. Like they should have put JBL in NXT, but I see what WWE do, but I don't know how JBL feels about his return. I don't even want to feel like how he feels, but the Maria Kanellis returning, I don't really care about that. And the Vince Russo and Jim Cornette, Jim Cornette, he seems like a really cool dude, but like his shoot interviews are very funny. And Vince Russo, I don't really like the dude. No, I think he was hired by WWE when he was working in his WCW days. But yeah, not really interested in news this week from the wrestling community. But yeah.
All right. Here's I'm gonna play a couple of clips of this whole review here from front of the show. Also, he has another YouTube channel, Schleg Daddy TV, where he talks pretty much other sports over there and anything else. His heart desires over there. This one, OTR Central, specifically pro wrestling WWE otherwise, as especially in that bubble. So I wanted to play first clip here, talking about the women's Money in the Bank ladder match from Sunday. As you can see in the title of his video there, the review of the show. Welcome to watch the whole thing when you can, right here, the channel right here. Subscribe, ring the bell, stuff like that. But here we go.
WWE gonna WWE, man. And of course, in his modern day and age, with Vince McMahon still calling the shots and running the show, of course a man would end up being the winner of the first women's Money in the Bank ladder match. Of course, with James Ellsworth. So James Ellsworth got the briefcase out of Carmella. So many people are so pissed. You have to take this for what it is. Just
great internet.
Fucking comedy. Get over the piss part and just enjoy it for the fuck you eat that this finish generated that really upset the tone for the screwy what the fuck night that we ultimately got. This was awesome and it only got better. The Tag Team Championship, New Day, Usos.
So that's his thoughts on the women's Money in the Bank ladder match and the finish with Ellsworth. If you guys have anything to say about it, as I set up for the next clip to play in this video. But you guys, first Kyron, then Palmer, right in a row. Give your response to OTRS Central's thoughts.
I was pissed that Ellsworth, grabbed a briefcase, like I said earlier. But just looking at his title, I disagree with what he said about the show being an awesome epic fail. For example, in my review, I believe I gave the show a B- or a B. I don't think it was the show was as bad as people make it out to be. And yes, I could see Vince McMahon doing something like having the first women's Money in the Bank and with a man grabbing the briefcase. But there's not much I can really say that I haven't already said. So that I don't really have much to say on that.
No, that's fine. It's just, your thoughts on his thoughts. No, I understand that. Not much else to add. Palmer, any thoughts on his thoughts? Again, I know we already talked about our own thoughts, but just in response to the clip that I played.
Well, yeah, I do agree with him. I agree the part where he said, he not surprised that, a man won a women's Money in the Bank. At first I wasn't even surprised, but, he said it was like an epic fail. It wasn't really an epic fail, Like, the pay-per-view was all right. They could have, did it better. They could have did women's Money in the Bank better, especially, but yeah, that's all I gotta say.
All right. Again, since I couldn't play it while you guys were speaking, because that'd be kind of rude, but I might have to skip around while I play this, so I apologize to you guys and the listening audience, and even to him himself that allowed me. Again, OTRS Central, Jeff Slay Daddy TV, was as well. So bear with me in case I don't get it right away.
Modern feminism. The women are all masculine and the men are all feminine. And if you think about it, that's true. Don't sit there and say hashtag that's sexist. It's hashtag feminism because it's true. You wonder what the Ascension were up to? Well, they were here at this point in time in the show to give you a few minutes to give you your piss, shit, walk the dog, masturbation break, and you might have been able to fit in a couple of those. Surprise roll up for the wind. I'm sure the soothing saw monster is pleased about this. Get you missed it. Who gives a shit? Oh, it's the Ascension. What are they rising up to do? Who gives a fuck? Next. And then the main event. Oh, the coup de grace of the night. Oh my god. And Slaughter's just sitting there being like, he didn't want to miss any part of this train wreck, but he also did.
Okay, I guess talking about the Ascension being the clip of the show. What do you guys? Again, thoughts on his thoughts. Again, I know we already talked about the pay-per-view and our own thoughts, but in response to the clip, Karen.
I don't really know how to respond to that. In honesty, Steve, I didn't really watch the match myself, so I guess I kind of agree when we say it's a piss break or masturbation break, even though I wouldn't masturbate while I'm watching wrestling. I don't really know how to respond to that.
Understood. Respect that. Excuse me, Palmer J. Simmons. What are your thoughts?
Well, you know, I knew where he was coming from, but at the same time, I was confused what he was saying. But anyway, you know, wait, which match he said was a piss break?
When they had Breezango against the Ascension, because the Ascension to him aren't shit.
Well, no, I agree with him on that. I didn't really watch the pay-per-view, but yeah, if you have a match like Breezango and the other tag team, then it would be a boring match. So I agree with him.
All right. Yeah, I just wanted to share that because I did ask him if I could. Again, OTRS Central. I want to make sure to let everybody know, as I did before showing the clips, subscribe to his channel. Again, I kind of highlighted or circled it around to find it. Just search it, subscribe, ring the bell. Just as much as subscribe, ring the bell here. Know when videos are posted to that channel. So thank you to him and allowing me and allowing the show to use clips of his videos on the show and to get everybody's thoughts on it. So hopefully we is able to see that and see how we use that there in the correct way. Beyond that, I don't think there's anything else to discuss here for WWE or pro wrestling that I know of. Again, I apologize not to be on camera today, or I mean tonight. Busy day, good mess, and also I have other things to do. So I want to get this video out as quick, fast, and hurry as I can because the 2017 edition of the NBA draft is going on right about now. And earlier, like I said, I mentioned Alonzo Ball getting drafted by the LA Lakers as it was his destiny, I guess, in the end to go to the Lakers. You know, a guy like that, especially with a father like his, go to LA, go to Cali, to where I guess in the end he belongs. And he's a good athlete too, you know, and actually something maybe could be that that centerpiece in the Lakers that they need since they traded away the one that could have been. And maybe the Lakers might actually be the Lakers again. Maybe not yet to old Showtime Lakers, but again, at least respectability of LA Laker fans not hiding as they have in the last couple of years because of the doldrums of the team. So maybe things will turn around for the Lakers. Hopefully it does. Best for the Lakers, best for the league, best for everybody. And that's coming from me here in Wisconsin and as a Milwaukee Bucks fan. You know, I want all the teams to improve, not just my own, and have the league better for that, just like the NFL, just like any league that you watch, major sports or otherwise. You want all the teams to be good, to make things A, unpredictable, entertaining, and C, is better for me individually, selfishly. So, and isn't that the greatest reason of all?
Steve?
Yes, Karen.
Yeah, I agree with most of everything you just said about making it unpredictable. Let's be honest with ourselves. Unless an injury prevents it, we're going to deal with the Golden State Warriors being in or winning the next 3 to 4 championships for the next few years. So there won't be a lot of interest in the league for the next few years. So we're not going to get used to that.
Now, here's the question, though. I know this is a wrestling show, but since we are talking about it. Okay, so the Bulls in the 90s and with Michael Jordan, and maybe it was the Jordan factor, but I remember, again, apples to oranges in the era, if social media was in the 90s, blah, blah, blah. But I didn't see anybody having an issue with Jordan and the Bulls running roughshod in the NBA, winning their titles in a row, and being the dynasty that they are, one of the greatest teams in the NBA, this and that. So if the Warriors in the end have their own dynasty here in this era, new generational era, why do they garner the hate when Jordan and the Bulls, at least from my memory, even though when that happened, I think I was in high school or late elementary school, whatever, in the 90s, with that happening, that really wasn't as crazy as now. As like you just said, like, no one wants in the NBA because of the Warriors going to be so dominant, why care? And I see that point, but I'm just thinking of, well, then I don't remember hearing any of that from fans during the Jordan era and during the times the Bulls were dominant. So I just bringing that up, just trying to compare and contrast, because if the Warriors are able to actually create their own dynasty, be equal or better than that Bulls team, I say, sure, fine, go for it. But at some point, I would want all the other teams to catch up and to have an unpredictable season, have playoffs that actually matter, and anything goes. An eighth seed could go all the way and win the NBA championship. Just like in the NFL, we have 6 seeds, which are the last ones in the NFL to make it to the Super Bowl. Yeah, it's different. NBA has the best of 7 and all the other stuff. In the NFL is 1. A Red Robin single elimination style system, but still same idea, at least to me. So actually having a better competitive balance, having it more interesting, entertaining, unpredictable, being the main thing for me. Where any team in the NBA really can win the NBA championship, and you never know, it could be your team this year, whether it's maybe some year the Nets, get good, or the Miami Heat can be back to what they used to be.
Yes.
Or my team here in Milwaukee, or here in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, the Milwaukee Bucks. With Kupo, getting things done, and we're doing something. Maybe we have to wait for LeBron James to retire, but whenever that does happen, maybe then, at least in the East, things certainly will start getting unpredictable, and it will be a arms race to find out and see which team, will actually. Just basically saying we're basically actually going to have an Eastern Conference playoffs, where all the games matter, or all the matchups matter. Who knows who's going to make it in each round? Who can come out of the East after LeBron retires, and just be a mad dash? Who knows? Could be Bucks Heat in the Eastern Finals. Who knows? But have something, have an interest, have even these NBA drafts matter, right? Because even with these drafts for all these teams, we're still probably going to see Golden State and Cleveland meeting in the finals.
But Steve, I would like to respond to what you said about how no one really had a problem when Jordan and the Bulls were doing it. 2 things. 1, social media didn't exist back then. I wasn't even born back then, but let me just give you the reason why. Now, first off, I'm not against this whole super team notion, because there's been teams stacked since Bill Russell played in the 60s, and then the 80s with the Showtime versus the Celtics, and 90s with the Bulls. But here's the very difference. The Warriors almost have no competition. We literally watched the best player in the league get beat by 5 by them because of how stacked they are. Like when the Bulls won 6 championships in the 90s, they still had competition. In 92, they had to beat a Knicks team in 7, then beat a really good Blazers team. 93, they had to beat the league MVP in Barkley and an awesome Suns team. They always had tough matchups. Celtics and Lakers, same thing. Even the 01, the Shaq Kobe Lakers, who were dominating, they had tough matchups from time to time. Mm-hmm. But with this Warriors team, because Kevin Durant went to a team that beat him when he was up 3-1 and choked, let me just add that, and went behind Russell's back. But with Kevin Durant going to the Warriors, and with 4 All-Stars, and I just think it kind of makes a ball. Look, they went 15-1 in the playoffs, and that because and the Cavs had to play the best they could just to barely win that game. Now. And I hate when people say you can't get mad because LeBron James is your favorite player. He did the same thing. I can make a whole list on why he didn't. 1, the Cavaliers that LeBron left was a downright terrible team, while the Thunder had a top 5 player and were contending. Also, LeBron, the team that kept beating LeBron was the Celtics. He didn't go to the Celtics. He went to build his own good team to beat them. And while Kevin Durant had a team that could have beaten the Warriors, he decided to go to the Warriors. When if I was Kevin and knowing how I played in games 5, 6, and 7, knowing we were up 3-1, could have and should have beaten the Warriors, I would have re-signed the Thunder and wanted to beat them even more. But he went there, and he got his ring. Congratulations to that. But I'm never gonna look at his move as I'm always gonna look at his move as well. I think it's kind of a cowardly move. You went to the team that beat you after you were up 3-1 and choked, and all of this happened. So congratulations to Kevin on getting his ring, of course. He's still the second best player in the league, if you ask me. But I just don't. I'm not happy in the way he got it.
All right.
Oh, Steve, I gotta say something.
Sure, go ahead.
There's nothing more that I hate as a super team. All right, you got KD, Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Klay and Draymond. This team is so stacked that like I'm afraid that Vince Carter might sign with them next year. This team, this why the NBA is now great again. Back in 2007, you had LeBron anybody could have went to the finals. You had LeBron on the Cavs. You had Dwayne Wade on the Heat. You had Steve Nash with the Suns. All right, all that. But now people are forming up super teams. And if my team Cleveland, if they don't get Paul George or Jimmy Butler or Russell Westbrook, then there's a 100% chance that we're gonna lose in the finals next year.
Yeah, well, you can forget about that because the Cavs aren't looking for either one of those trades anymore because they don't have enough trade value and love to do it. And as much as I want to see LeBron get another ring, unless they get someone like a Paul George or a Jimmy Butler, it's likely not going to happen if they have to play the Warriors again. Because look at it, this proves it. LeBron couldn't sit down for 2 minutes without the Cavaliers blowing a lead. That's a problem. And I think with a Jimmy Butler or especially a Paul George, you got to help the Cavs on defense and help run the offense when he was on the bench. But they don't have that. And Love, who I like, but yeah, he has not shown up in either NBA final, in none of the 2 finals he played in, scoring wise and doing what I need out of him. He's not really that valuable in the finals. He plays good in the playoffs, but not in the finals. So I mean, my favorite team is the Miami Heat. So of course I want to see us do good, but I want to see my favorite player, LeBron, win another championship. But with the Cavaliers firing David Griffin, which pissed everyone off because Dan Gilbert, the owner, doesn't know what the hell he's doing, and I never liked him anyway. And LeBron might leave Cleveland, and if he leaves, Kyrie's going too. So let's see what Chauncey Billups' GM does.
Yeah, let's see what he does if he actually accepts the position. That'd be step one. Then see what he does actually in the job. But it's only going to be very interesting as I still wait. I don't even know when the Bucks select, but whenever we get to the Milwaukee Bucks, if we're still on air, which I doubt because we'll be ending here soon, we'll share that information. If not, I'll be showing it on Twitter at Army_Strong_06. Again, that is at Army_Strong_06. My personal Twitter handle, where lately I've actually had a back and forth, or at least a convo with the cast of a TV show. Their Life in Pieces. I don't know if anybody's heard of that. On CBS on Thursdays, 8:30 p.m. Central, 9:30 Eastern. We're actually tonight, obviously here in summer, they pretty much go through the whole season for all the shows in the reruns. So a rerun, pretty much of season 2 going through right now for that show and all other shows, Big Bang Theory and otherwise too. So I'll share that information there. But as in WWE, not much else to say unless you guys have something to bring up. No, all right. Then I guess there's nothing else to discuss. As I try to find my theme that I used. Or, theme song. If I can actually have things work for once, that'd be nice. But anyways, hope everybody has a great rest of your evening. I'll be back tomorrow with Star vs. the Force of Evil review or a blind reaction to the new intro for Season 3. I'm going up on my channel. Everybody welcome to subscribe, like the video, share it, Facebook fan pages, and whatnot. Galore. Always really appreciated. And as always, take care.
Peace out.
Peace.